myself. I moved here when I was 12 years old from Floyd County. My dad worked at Chemical Products. Even before that, worked there for almost 30 years. My mother worked for the newspaper at the time. So we moved here, lived out on Sugar Valley Road, graduated from Cass High, married my high school sweetheart. She's a teacher just right down the street here at Cloverleaf. She's a music teacher. We have 3 daughters, and one is married, so I have a son-in-law and 2 grandkids. And they were supposed to be here, but I guess moving 2 babies around takes up a little more time than she did. I was waiting to hear that pop when she comes in the door. But my wife is with our youngest daughter. She's at Woodland High School in their performing arts program, and they are actually at what's called the Schuler Hensley Awards this evening, which is basically like Tony Awards for high school students. So that's where she is. So don't think every time you see me, I'm always alone. My wife is just super busy. And I know several of you with children know how that running from child to child is. I graduated from Cass, had a scholarship to Georgia Tech as a computer major. So it really hurts to wear this black and red. But my wife she's a Georgia graduate. I know. She's a Georgia graduate. She picked it out, so that's that. But
you're a good man.
That's right. I did the next best thing from Georgia Tech. I joined the U.S. Army and spent right at 6 years active duty in the Army. Immediately left the Army and joined the National Guard. And I'm now in the Air Guard as a first sergeant at Dobbins, and I will be retiring from that soon because thanks to our illustrious leader Obama, my unit is being deactivated. So, yeah, and I saw the hit. Wow. My policing career started right after I got out of the Army. I've been doing that now for 20 years. I started with the Augusta Police Department. Knew I wanted to move my family back home, so we moved back here in '94. We live in Cassville. On my wife's family's original farmland. I can look across the field at the Ladder Milks place. And so I started sneezing before I got here, and I haven't been fighting it ever since. I don't know what some of y'all are wearing.
You need some water?
I've got my drink right here.
Yeah.
But I moved here in '94 and started working with the Floyd County Police Department. Worked there for 7 years. Got ran over by a drunk driver. And I don't mean like the drunk driver hit my car. I mean like physically ran over me. And I knew then that it was time for me to do something a little different because my children deserved me to come home. So I started working in the school system and went from there to work for the Cobb County Schools, and then came here 7 years ago, was hired as the Chief of Police for the Bartow County Campus Police. So I've been responsible for your almost 14,000 kids for 7 years. And in talking with our sheriff one time, he says, "I don't know how you do that job, so I'm going to show it." I figure you
appreciate that
one. And to tell you where I stand on policing, I'm a very proactive police officer. Always have been. And I have several, I can get into the nuts and bolts with you if you wish, rather than spend a lot of time doing that, on what kind of proactive things I'd like to see from the Sheriff's Department, because I don't see it. I see a lot of reactive, and I even have a former deputy standing back here in the back, and he's almost nodding his head. I mean, just everything from, let's go after that element. What is it that the people want from their sheriff? They want the sheriff to go after that criminal element, make sure I'm safe. So let's go do it. Let's find ways to go at them. Let's do, I want to put a selective enforcement unit together. Now, it is technically a traffic-based unit, but you can get a lot of, you can find a lot of folks. Everybody travels. You can find a lot of folks that are wanted or they're out there stealing. So let's say that they're in your neighborhood, and your neighborhood's been a victim of several thefts. Well, let's just roll that unit out there and see what's moving, because I guarantee you they're not carrying that scrap metal out. They're not carrying that flat screen TV out. They're putting it in a vehicle. So let's go find them. Let's not wait for it to happen. I'm a very conservative thinker. As far as the jail goes, when I started working in Augusta, I first worked in the jail before I went on the road. And I worked in a jail where every person in that jail, unless they were physically unable, went out on some work detail. Let's get these folks that are physically able and that are you know, under a sentence where they're able, because I realize there's a lot there under pretrial and they can't do that. But let's make them work for us. We're paying their bill. You know, let's make them work for us. We had a vandalism situation here at Cloverleaf a few months ago. I should have been able to pick up that phone and say, hey, give me a prison detail because this teacher's room has just been trashed, and it shouldn't be on that teacher's time or our time for that teacher that she had to come in and clean that up. Let's get some help out here from those inmates. I also am very fiscal responsible. That should be the main purpose, or I say one of the main purposes